We've got a battle for Rome in Serie A and some new bloods trying to stake their claim in the Bundesliga.
La Liga has a top 3 matchup this weekend, and it's producer Danny P versus Hype Man Dick kicking off the match day in the Prim with the Merseyside derby. All this and more on this episode 89 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Snooze, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Yes. Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we got the full fam here today. Danny P on the ones and twos, J-Fam the Brainiac in the back, and of course, everybody's favorite man with the beard, Hype Man Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, what I got, it's my last Oktoberfest beer that we have, and I'm going to leave it up to y'all. I think this is just Hacker Pshore. Hacker Pshore.
Hacker Pshore.
I don't know, but it's the last Oktoberfest I have. We're going to go back to bourbon. We're going to go back to tequilas after this. And I'm also using the only Stein that I have. Is
that a Yeti Stein? That's
Stein.
Cool. I like that.
But I got it whenever I was barbecuing a lot and I needed to keep my beer cold outside. So cheers. And while I cheers.
What a effing man.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. It's what all the men are doing, and women too. Yeah, everyone. And it's free. Like and subscribe. It's the best way to support us and let other people know that, hey, maybe we're kind of cool to hang out with. So I mean, beer's pretty cool. Cheers.
Yeah, at least beer is. We know that for sure.
Well, I don't know why I'm holding it like this. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, you were talking about being a man and you're holding it like all weird. That was, yeah. Someone would have called that out. I'm glad you caught that. But we have a full slate of games to cover. We have Serie A, Bundesliga, Premier League, and La Liga. A lot of games that are going on in all of them. I'm excited to get started. But before we can go to Europe, we have to stay right here because we have a big match to talk about in your boots on the ground in Austin, Texas for the Austin FC Minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have history, ladies and gentlemen, as Austin FC punched their ticket to the U.S. Open Cup final with their 2-1 win against Minnesota in Minnesota, might I add. It's the first ever final anything that Austin FC have been to. And also, we get to host it at Q2 Stadium, October 1st at 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets. There's actually people at work talking about it and getting tickets. So
that's crazy.
You going to go, Snooze? You going to make it? You going to make it out there?
I will. Yeah. I you know how life is with me. I don't get much sleep anymore, but whenever I do, I try to get as much as I can. And I passed out before the second half. So I saw the first goal, didn't watch the second. I woke up at like 3 or 4 a.m. to, do dad stuff. And I looked at my phone real quick and I saw that Austin FC had already emailed me like, hey, your tickets will be. And I was like, we made it. We did it. That was awesome. And I saw CJ Fodry, our boy.
The hero of the match. I was just about to bring up CJ Fodry, who was drafted from San Diego State. Really good presence up front, especially with Brandon Vasquez being out. But he has 2 goals in his career. Both have been game winners and both within the past 10 days. And seeing him flourish like this is so exciting for all you Austin FC nerds out there. But yeah, it's amazing to see. I cannot wait not to be outdone. Well, I don't know why I'm saying not to be outdone, but there is another match. There's 2 more matches before then. We do host Seattle at Q2 Stadium at 7:30 on Sunday as well. So if you see your boy Hype Man Vic there, I'm in a good mood right now. First 2 or 3 might be on me if you say what's up. So let me know and hope to see you guys out there.
Man, that's an exciting one. I was looking forward to something else that day. And I'm glad that I got interrupted with this Austin FC match. So
yeah,
there we go.
Good.
Concert. Who needs a concert? We need a final. Oh man, it'd be awesome. All right.
Yes.
Well, we have a lot to cover, a lot to go through. So let's jump right in. Let's go straight to Italy.
Let's do it. To Serie A.
Oh yeah, we have a lot to cover, and there was a lot of good games that are coming up this weekend. We're only in match day 4 for Serie A. It's weird that they kind of stagger them, but as we go through the ringer there's going to be a lot more discrepancy. You'll see like 4, maybe 3 to 4 match day difference. Maybe not that much, but it's just crazy. But for right now, Serie A match day 4, got some bangers going on. We got some rivalries. I'm hyped for it. So Vic, let's jump in.
Let's go. And it all starts on Friday as Lecce, the Milkmen, take on Cagliari.
The Milkmen sit bottom of the table after 3 matches, and they get Cagliari, who are looking to build off their 2-0 win over Parma last weekend. I feel like this one's kind of even, but Cagliari, they've just been pretty strong. Away from home, a little bit different, but we'll see how that goes.
Yes, sir. And then we have 3 matches on Saturday, and it starts with Bologna and Genoa.
Bologna only have 3 points after the first 3 matches, and they have 2 losses on the record already, with losses to Roma and Milan. They need to bounce back, and they have a perfect opportunity to do so on Saturday with the winless Genoa coming to town. Genoa are no pushovers, but they just haven't won yet. So let's go Bologna.
And our second match for Saturday is Verona versus Juve, not Juve.
Juve. Yes, Juve. Verona have struggled out of the gate with only a single goal so far this season. Juve, on the other hand, just can't stop scoring. They scored 8 between their derby with Inter last weekend and their Champions League clash with Dortmund that just happened. They've also allowed 7 goals in those matches, though, so it's not like they're a perfect team, but I don't think Verona have enough to bang with the bigs in this matchup.
And then to close out our Saturday, we have Udinese welcoming Milan.
This is my sneaky match of the week, the people's match, if you will. I think Udinese are unlucky, as I've said multiple times on this show, not to be at 3 wins from 3, and they just played well this season. They look like a good, well-oiled machine, and Milan have bounced back from that opening day defeat to Cremonese with 2 straight wins. You'd expect Milan have enough to win here, but watch out for Udinese. They are no joke.
Yes, sir. And then we move on to Sunday, and it starts with a banger as it is the battle for Rome, Lazio and Roma.
Yes, it is the Derby della Capitale, if my Italian is correct. If it's not, please let me know. Yeah, but yes, Roma were shocked by Torino last time out, but they have been excellent prior to that, while our Lazio have yet to show really much of anything this season as far as good vibes go. They've shown a lot of bad, I guess I'll put it that way. It feels like the expectations, though, are on Roma to get the win here. And unfortunately, I haven't seen anything to tell me that our Lazio will get even a point from this one. These are always very tight affairs, and maybe a goal here, a lucky bounce there could change it. But as it stands right now, it looks like Roma will be getting 3 points in the Derby della Capitale. Capitale?
Capitale. Yeah. Oh, just do this. Capitale.
Yeah, Derby della. It always changes it to correct if you do that.
Yeah, that's right. And then our second matchup of Sunday is Torino versus Atalanta.
Speaking of Torino, they look to build off the momentum in that win over Roma, and Atalanta have been a mixed bag so far. They did get their first win of the season when they beat Lecce 4-1 last weekend, but they just went to the Parc des Princes. Is that how you say it? Parc des Princes, and were walloped by PSG 4-0. So, the only question I have is where have our AT aliens gone? Looks like they've gone with their coach over to Roma.
And then our third matchup of Sunday, have 2 teams headed in different directions as number 3 Cremonese take on number 19 Parma.
Cremonese come out of the break and were sleepwalking in a 0-0 draw with Verona, a team I think they should have beat. I was rooting for them pretty hard, just the way that Cremonese had started this season, but they'll get another chance at 3 points when Parma come to town. Parma have been very poor to start this year. I want to see Cremonese get this done, because then we can start talking about them in the mid-tier type of teams. Someone that's not worried about the relegation scrap. Obviously, we have a lot of season to play, but my point is that if they can prove that they can beat these teams that they should be trying to kind of vie for position in that relegation battle, then they can prove to be mid-table. And Parma, as much as I do like the squad, or I liked them last year, they're just not the same team.
And then we have our old stomping grounds, Fiorentina welcoming Como.
Our Fiorentina, that's correct, are still winless, and it'll get even harder to get a first win with Como making their way to Florence this weekend. Como have had a bit of a rocky start to the season, but I fully expect them to bounce back, and it might just be in Florence against our Fiorentina, unfortunately.
And then to close out Sunday, we have 2 teams that are trying to get out of the middle of the table, as you have Inter taking on Sassuolo.
Inter are still licking their wounds from the defeat to Juve, but they get a winning start in the Champions League, and now they get Sassuolo, who did beat our Lazio last time out, but they have generally been pretty bad the first couple of games. So let's see what happens, but I think Inter can get this one pretty easily.
And then to go on to Monday, we have one match, and it might be a little hard for some of you to watch as our defending champions, Napoli, and number one on the table right now, take on relegation-threatened Pisa.
Yeah, I have no idea why this is an island game on Monday Night Football, but Napoli get a Monday night game against newly promoted Pisa, and I'm not sure if there's a significance. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Like maybe it's a derby or something. I couldn't find anything to tell me that, but it looks like this is a beatdown in the making. Napoli should be able to make it 4 wins from 4 pretty easily in Serie A, even if they did just lose in the Champions League to Manchester City. But this is a whole different ball game. I think they're still the best team to beat in Italy. I almost said the wrong country.
Ooh, you almost made a lot of people mad.
I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, those are your match days that we have for Serie A match day 4. But here are some of the top matches and headlines that the No Business Soccer podcast is looking for. And it starts with number 1, of course, the battle for Rome.
Sarri and Gasparini's teams have gone to battle before, but not in their new colors for Roma and Lazio. These are usually pretty close matches, but Roma have started on fire and Lazio can't seem to get going. Let's see how it plays out.
And number 2, Fiorentina versus Como.
Something's got to give here because Como have struggled to get back to the heights they hit in the season opener, but Fiorentina are due for a bounce back, and Moise Kean's got to pop up sooner rather than later, right?
Should be. And number 3, Udinese versus Milan.
Like I said earlier, this is a sneaky good match, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on Udinese, and they shouldn't be. Milan have shown that they can be beaten, and if Udinese wants to prove that they're real, go get at least a point from this one at home in front of your fans, and we'll start to believe.
And ending with number 4, Vardy Har Har.
If you are like me, you missed Jamie Vardy's first minutes with Cremonese last weekend. His signing kind of went under the radar, but I'm interested to see if he still got anything in the tank. I'm not sure that he does. I'm not convinced that he does, but it still blows my mind that he's in Serie A and he's playing for this team.
Yes, sir. And those are your top matches and headlines that we are looking for Serie A match day 4. And I can't believe you made me say Vardy Har Har. That's pretty good.
You know, I was waiting to see if you would read that, but you obviously didn't pre-read it, so you started chuckling. You almost made me lose it, man. I forgot. So, you know, there's a lot of matches that we're talking about today. We talk about every match in every league, but obviously there's no possible way to watch these all. I mean, especially if you're trying to watch all the leagues, there's games at the same time. So we're going to break down every match, but at the end, we're going to tell you our top matches to watch. And so that's the way we have it structured right now. And I'm looking forward to the matches that are in there. Obviously, the Derby della Capitale is the main one to watch. But man, I think I'm hyping up Udinese too much, like I did Como the first match day. So it's probably not going to end well. But I just want to see it, man. I think they got something going. I want to see them.
Yeah, and I want to see Jamie Vardy because I was as surprised as you. I didn't even know until you told me that Vardy got signed for Cremonese. And Cremonese is sitting in 3rd right now. Like I think we said in the last episode, like, can they only get better? Are they a contender? Especially with Vardy going? It's going to be pretty crazy. But yeah, I want to see some more of those Cremonese games now that Vardy's involved in.
It puts a little bit more. It puts a little bit more like rooting interest for this team because I had already seen them past. I think it was match days 2. Well, I think this is the 4th one, right? So yeah, so 1 and 2, they were just banging in goals. They actually looked really good. But now it's like we have a rooting interest, like Jamie Vardy. That's crazy, man. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited. I don't know why I didn't even think about it last time. He came off the bench, so you know maybe things will change and he'll get a start.
Can't wait to watch.
Anything else for Serie A? I think we're good.
All good here.
So let's go to where your beer came from. Let's go to Germany.
Let's do it to Bundesliga.
Bundesliga has been weird this season. There's a lot of teams that did really well last season that are just kind of in a slump, in a funk right now, and they don't feel like they're coming out anytime soon. Looking at you, Mainz. But then there's also teams that are kind of just out of nowhere deciding that they're going to be good. Like Hoffenheim and St. Pauli. I mean, Hoffenheim not that good, but they're better than they were last season, I guess is the best way to put it. And yeah, there's a lot going on, but the talk of the town is the newly promoted team Cologne. They've just been awesome. And so let's talk about it, Vic. Let's jump into the matches.
Let's do it. And we will go into the match days that we have for, match day 4 in Bundesliga. And it all starts on Friday with Stuttgart versus St. Pauli.
St. Pauli have been one of the biggest surprises through 3 matches as they've won twice and drawn the other. Stuttgart have been up and down recently and not really sure what the issue is, but they struggled last season and they are struggling again. St. Pauli were expected to be in the relegation race. Yeah, I said that right. And so far they have beat those expectations super early in the season. I know, but they have beat those expectations. A win here though would be massive for St. Pauli.
And then we move on to Saturday, and our opening match is Augsburg versus Mainz, and both of these teams need some points.
Both teams coming to this one desperate for a win. Augsburg have looked better so far. Not great, but they have looked better. Mainz surely haven't lost their way. Surely they haven't, because they were so good last season. Mainz's issues, though, they've only scored a single goal in 3 Bundesliga matches. So you're not going to get a lot of wins when you can't score goals like that. Maybe losing Burkhardt was a much bigger deal than they thought. And it's probably not a good sign for them that he was banging in goals in the Champions League for Eintracht today, actually, which for y'all would have been yesterday. But anyway, Thursday. But yeah, mine's not looking good at the moment.
And then our next matchup has Hoffenheim, a surprising Hoffenheim team getting a test with the defending champions Bayern Munich.
Hoffenheim's reward for starting the season strong is a date with the Bavarian bullies in Bayern. I like Hoffenheim so far this season, but not against this Bayern side. I don't think they're going to lose more than maybe a game or 2 at most this entire season.
And then we have a battle for 17th as Heidenheim take on Hamburg.
The 2 teams that are sitting at the bottom of the table go head-to-head, and both teams need a win, but they'll probably end up drawing and doing no good for nobody. And that's how these things go.
And then it's still the middle of the season, but both of these teams sitting in the middle of the table. Werder Bremen taking on Freiburg, both needing some points.
Werder got their first win in a blowout of Gladbach last time out, but Freiburg also got their first win of the season as they beat VfB Stuttgart. Maybe I'm still living in the past, but I think that this Freiburg team, I think of them as they were last season, and so I expect them to win here, and I expect them to start getting momentum and getting back on track.
And then closing out our Saturday, we have 2 teams with 2 wins apiece. RB Leipzig taking on the cutest mascot, Köln.
This is probably the matchup I'm most excited for in the Bundesliga this weekend. It's 2 teams that love to get after it. Cologne have scored the 2nd most goals in the Bundesliga, and Leipzig, while they haven't been their usual attacking selves yet, they've bounced back from the heavy defeat to Bayern in match day 1 with back-to-back wins. I'm excited to see how this one plays out. I want Cologne to win. But man, if they can do it, if they can beat Leipzig, that'd be really cool.
And then we move on to Sunday as we have a classic Eintracht Frankfurt taking on Union Berlin.
Eintracht were brought down to earth a bit by Leverkusen last Friday, but maybe they were caught by surprise, or maybe they underestimated how good they would be, or Leverkusen would be under their new coach. Either way, they can bounce back against a Union side that they haven't looked great this season, and they still haven't found a way to get many goals. Frankfurt lit it up in the Champions League, and I think that they're going to get the win here.
And then our second of 3 matches on Sunday have Leverkusen hosting Mönchengladbach.
It's 2 new managers going at it, but unlike Gladbach, Leverkusen have already got their first win under their belt with Hjulman. Sorry, that is a hard word to say when you're cottonmouth. It's like Hjulman, and some Champions League experience as well to go with it. It might be another long day for Gladbach, but they have a new manager, so brighter days are ahead.
And then we close out our match day as Borussia Dortmund. I was wondering if I should say Borussia, but I like saying that. Borussia Dortmund welcome the Wolves of Wolfsburg. Yeah, I like it.
Another match that I'm fascinated to see play out. Dortmund are back to their usual selves and almost got a win away at Juve on Wednesday. Dortmund are no joke, and it's going to be a test for Simone's Wolves to go into Signal Iduna Park and get a result. But both of these teams I'm really interested in this season. Of course, I've said it every match day. I'm very high on Wolfsburg coming in. I was very high on Wolfsburg coming in this summer, and it's just another test for them to prove me right or prove me wrong.
Yes, sir. And those are your match day 4 matchups. And of course, we are going to be looking at some certain headlines and matches for Bundesliga match day 4. Yes, sir. And we are starting with number 1, Stuttgart versus St. Pauli.
St. Pauli have looked good, but they still haven't had that signature win yet. And a away win against Stuttgart could be just that. Stuttgart haven't looked terrible, but they just can't seem to get a string of results. Both teams are fun to watch. I'm ready to go.
And then we go to number 2, Leipzig versus Köln.
Köln can't stop scoring goals, and Leipzig love themselves a shootout. Leipzig are starting to click, so they'll be tough to beat, but Cologne have yet to lose in the Bundesliga and will be more than game in this one.
Number 3, Dortmund versus Wolves.
Dortmund appear to be all the way back under Niko Kovac, and they get the unbeaten Wolves side under new boss Paul Simonis. Both clubs have had a great start to the season, but can this new-look Wolfsburg take it to one of the big dogs in the Bundesliga? Let's find out.
And number 4, Gladbach, more like Sadbach.
Tensions were rising in the locker room, and Gerardo Sioni was beefing with his own squad. So after Gladbach's 4-0 defeat against Werder, they sacked him. This is their first match post Sioni, and it's against Leverkusen. So let's see how it goes.
And those are your No Business Soccer podcast top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 4. I did read that Gladbach, more like Sadbach, and I was excited to read that one. That was pretty good.
Okay.
You're getting better at this. You're getting better at this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, we need some headlines here, man. I gotta figure this out. So,
I like it. So bad.
But yeah, that one out of all of the matches, I mean, I'm interested in seeing the Leipzig Köln match the most. We've talked about it a couple times now, but the Gladbach and Leverkusen one is interesting for a lot of different reasons. Mainly new coaches. Gladbach have looked horrible, but also like Leverkusen, did they surprise Frankfurt last week? Eintracht, whatever we call it. We still need to talk to someone. Is it Eintracht or is it Frankfurt? Which we can't call them Eintracht Frankfurt all the time. But anyway,
I like it. I like it.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, were they real? Is this the new Leverkusen under this coach, or what's going on with that? So I'm excited to see that one. But man, Dortmund and Wolves is the headliner of the weekend, and that one's going to be fun.
And that's number 2 versus number 8, and it's kind of a really big disparity. I know it's early on in the season anyway, but like both of these teams don't have any losses, and seeing them going toe to toe is going to be fun this weekend.
Yes, sir. And the more games that we get, the more data we get, the more information, and we can start to draw some conclusions. So I think 4 matches in, you can start to be like, yeah, this team's going to have a bad time. Or you look at a team that's undefeated or scoring a lot of goals, you're just like, okay, this is where we are. Now, things change, people get injured, but I think it's safe to say that the by match day 5, which is next weekend, we're going to know a lot more about these teams, or at least enough to draw conclusions. Let's put it that way. So looking forward to it. Okay. Yes, I think we're good to go. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go to Spain.
Let's do it. To La Liga. Smooth. I always feel like
yes,
a wine when I hear that. You know what I mean?
Red wine, Tennessee whiskey.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe not Tennessee whiskey. I thought he said red wine in that song. Did he say? Oh, strawberry wine. That's what it is. Strawberry wine. But in La Liga, though, all the headlines and everything that I've been listening to is just, I mean, obviously Real Madrid and Barcelona dominate the headlines, but it's been about that damn stadium of Barcelona not being ready and where they're going to be playing their next home match at, not only in La Liga, but in the Champions League. But also, if you didn't catch the most recent Champions League game for Real Madrid, Vinicius was on the bench, and there's some issues, and there's just some weird stuff going on with these teams, and they're the ones that are dominating the headlines. But there's a lot of teams that are struggling in La Liga that they need to bounce back, big clubs as well. But this is the league that has the most underdogs that are starting to, I don't want to say overperform, because maybe this is just who they are, but we got to find out. And this is match day 5. So like I was talking about, we're getting more and more data points to prove our points, or to at least start to solidify our thoughts about these teams. And so, man, let's jump right into it. Let's start on Friday. Sorry, I took the spot.
All good. We will start La Liga match day 5 on Friday. And as you said, some struggling teams. We're going to start off with the battle of the Reals as Real Betis take on Real Sociedad.
Betis have only won once out of the 5 La Liga matches they played, but they're starting to get healthier with Barta and Ruibal back from injury. La Real just seem to have no answers for their recent struggles, but the Basque side have to turn things around. Sorry, I'm struggling even saying it, but they have to turn the things around because, man, this team is way too big to be struggling this far, right? Right? I mean, they have to.
Yeah, and that is our only matchup on Friday. We go on to Saturday as we have a battle of the relegation titans. Number 20, Girona, taking on number 18, Levante.
I like how you put Titans in there. Like make them feel good if you're going to bring them down a bit.
Yeah.
Girona are at the bottom of the table, and they have looked like the worst team in La Liga through 4 matches. But there were signs of life in their draw with Celta last time out, and that's bad news for Levante, who are neck and neck with Girona at the bottom of the table. I feel like Girona have to win here. There's no option. They have to get 3 points here because there's not going to be teams that are worse than Levante in La Liga. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, but then we will have a refresher because immediately after that match, we have number 1 versus number 3, Real Madrid taking on Espanyol.
Espanyol have won 3 of 4, with the other match being a draw. And I'm all for it. They've been impressive so far, and it's just unfortunate because they get Real Madrid this weekend, who have Mbappe looking like the best player in the world again. They've been amazing, and they're just getting started with Xabi Alonso. So it's not a good time. I think that Espanyol are a great team, even if they end up getting defeated heavily, is the best way I can put it. Blown out is the worst way you can put it, but you get my point. If they end up getting out of this match, regardless of the result, I think they'll be fine.
And then our next match is Villarreal hosting Osasuna, number 6 versus number 9. Nice.
Osasuna have proven that they're just going to be one of those tough-to-beat teams in the middle of the table, and that means that Villarreal, who've lost back-to-back matches in La Liga to Atleti and the Champions League to Spurs, will need to be on their game if they're going to get back on track with a win here.
And then our next matchup has Alaves hosting Sevilla.
Alaves are riding high after their shock win over Athletic Club, and they have a chance to stack up results as Sevilla come into town. Sevilla have been less terrible lately, though, after their win with Girona. But, Girona, they're the worst team in La Liga right now. But the draw with Elche last time out was also pretty impressive because Elche are one of those underdog teams that are kind of overachieving right now. But Alaves, they have a chance here. It's not like the Sevilla of old. If they want to take a piece of this game, I don't know where I was going with that one, but if they want to take on Sevilla and get something from this game, they can do it. Whatever.
Yeah, and then to close out our Saturday, we have Valencia welcoming Athletic Club, hoping to take advantage of Athletic Club's recent loss.
It's bad timing for these clubs to be facing each other, honestly. That's just the way to put it. They're both coming in after losses. Valencia was blown out by Barcelona, and Athletic Club falling to Alaves, and then to Arsenal in the Champions League. It's just misery on top of misery. I think this one, Athletic Club have to have. I think it's one that they just have to have. They got to get their season back on track. Valencia have only won once in 4 matches so far, though, so I think maybe they're at this point, maybe they're not going to be as good as I thought they were going to be the way they ended last season. But that's fine. They're not going to be in the relegation scrap, and they're all for that. But Athletic Club looked so good prior to these most recent losses. So I expect them to get all 3 points here.
And then we move on to Sunday as we have number 14 taking on number 13, Celta Vigo, going on the road to take on Rayo Vallecano.
Rayo gets Celta at home, and both teams have been a little underwhelming to start the season. Rayo have only won once so far in Celta, while they haven't won in La Liga through 5 matches. They are proving to be masters at not losing with 4 straight draws. And they played Betis. Something's going on with their match day 6 match. So they played that like 2 weeks ago. So anyway, they have 4 straight draws, and it's pretty crazy to see.
And then we go on to our second matchup of Sunday as Mallorca welcome Atletico Madrid.
Mallorca, I don't know why I just yelled Mallorca. Mallorca lost in a close one on Monday. Yeah, Mallorca lost in a close one on Monday. It's one that they wish they could get back against Espanyol, but things will get much harder with Atleti coming to town, fresh off getting their first win of the season over Villarreal. And Vic has to admit it, but they almost came away from Anfield with a point as well. They're just starting to be the team that we thought they would be. And this is a game that they should be winning, but yeah, that's been weird of late. And Mallorca are no pushovers.
And then we have a promoted team matchup as Elche welcome Oviedo.
It's right. Two newly promoted teams going at it. And typically I would call this a 6-pointer. I think most of us call this a 6-pointer. But Elche have been awesome. They still haven't been beaten in La Liga, while Oviedo have lost 3 of 4. And now these teams know each other well. But so far in the big leagues, Elche have proven to be the big boys. So I think they can get it done.
And then we have a top 4 matchup to end our match day as Barcelona welcome Getafe.
Barca put the draw with Rayo behind them in a big way with a massive win over Valencia, and they host the mighty Getafe next. Getafe, they've been impressive this season, but they've yet to play top-tier opposition. It's kind of like they're beating up on the teams that they're in and around in the table, but I want to see them nick a point from a big team here in Barcelona. It's going to be easier said than done because Barcelona have looked unstoppable lately. Outside of that one blip on the radar with Rayo. So we'll find out.
We'll see. And that is your last matchup for almost said Bundes. I almost pissed off a lot of people too for La Liga match day 5. And we will I'm looking forward to a bunch of those matches. And for the No Business Soccer podcast, these are the top matches and the headlines that we're looking forward to for La Liga match day 5. And it all starts with number 1, of course, Real Madrid taking on Espanyol.
There's only 4 teams in La Liga who haven't lost, and this matchup features 2 of them. That's right. Espanyol are looking really good this season, and I fully expect Real Madrid to come away with 3 points here, okay? I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying that Espanyol have been tough to beat this season, and don't count them out before we get to the match.
And number 2 is Valencia versus Athletic Club.
Look, there's no way around it. Valencia got whooped last weekend by Barca, but I think they have way more to give than they showed in that match. And this Athletic side have been awesome until recently. Something's got to give, and that's what makes this match so interesting. I'm excited to watch it.
And number 3, it is now or never for Girona.
Girona's downfall has been well documented since last season when they just about stayed in the league after being in the Champions League in the same season. But if they can't beat a fellow cellar dweller, newly promoted Levante, then we can call it early. If they can't beat this team, then they are going down.
And those are your top matches and headlines for La Liga Match Day 5 that the No Business Soccer podcast fam is looking forward to. And I gotta say, man, that the whole Barcelona versus Getafe match seems pretty interesting to me because Getafe is number 4 right now in the standings, which of course it's way too early. I know that it's way too early to do anything. And Getafe has been beating up on some lower level teams and everything, but yeah, we get to see who's real. Like you said earlier, getting 5 matches in, we get to see who's real, getting those data points in. And can you imagine if Getafe get a win here?
I honestly, like? I can't, and that's why I didn't put them in our top matches and headlines. Like we didn't. I could have added more matches, but whenever I was thinking about it, I just feel like Barcelona, if they put 6 past Valencia, then it's just crazy right now. They beat Newcastle in the Champions League, like they are on fire, and I don't realistically think that Getafe can get a point from that, even though I want them to. I'm not saying that I'm rooting for Barcelona or anything. I'm absolutely up for them having a shock win or, at least getting a point. Like I said, they can nick a point from this one. I just don't see it happening because Barca are way too good. And again, if I hype up a game, usually, it ends up not being good. And so Barca will be like, oh, hey, you think this is going to be a good game? Let's go ahead and put 7 past Getafe, which again, Getafe, they have had one of the best defenses in La Liga for a while. Or for the past couple of seasons, I guess.
Well, so I will say that is very good insight because Valencia beat Getafe 3-0 earlier and then just got whooped by Barcelona. So that's their only loss. We'll see what happens, but I'm just, I like mixing things up really, making things crazy.
I agree. The one I didn't put in there that I really wanted to as well was Elche and Oviedo because it might not be the best match to watch. Let's be honest. It's not like these teams are going after it and have stars and, whatever. But Elche has just been so surprising to me this season. I've never seen a match from them. And now they're, sitting here up towards the top of the table, just surprising everyone. So if they can get a good win against a team that they've played a lot already because they've been in the lower leagues, then, they start to be that team that's like, okay, you're mid-table. You're not relegation fodder. You are here to stay. And also their crest looks like the Alamo. So I don't know what it actually is, It looks like the Alamo though, so that's like all right, cool, close to home.
Yeah, I need to start adding their pictures on here. All the newly promoted teams don't have a shield. And maybe after match day 5, I think it's that way for you guys. But yeah, maybe after match day 5, I'll start adding their shields on there.
We need to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump right into our next league. Let's go. Oh, our final league. Holy crap, we're flying through this. Let's go to England.
Let's do it to the Prem.
I think
marching music right there.
There's some good matchups all across Europe in the leagues that we cover. But the league that has the most matches to look forward to, like the most that have a lot on the line, it's in the Prem. It's not like that every week. This isn't like some Prem superior podcast or anything like that. No. We like all the leagues, but just particularly this week is pretty fantastic. A lot of storylines going on in the Prem. So let's jump into it, Vic. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Let's go into the matches for Premier League match day 5, and it all starts with the Liverpool win. I'm sorry, a Merseyside derby.
Wow.
As Liverpool welcome Everton to start off match day 5.
As nerve-wracking as Liverpool's start to the season has been for their fans, they've won every single match they played in. Everton haven't been quite that good, but not far off, only losing once so far in the Prem. These matches have been pretty kind to Everton lately, and they'll be hoping that all the late heroics that Liverpool have had to rely on lately finally comes to an end at Anfield on Saturday morning. But, for, 468 million pounds worth of, I was going to say meat, but that sounds weird. Players says otherwise. Stick to the script here. Stick to the script.
Yeah. And then the second matchup we have on Saturday is Burnley taking on Nottingham Forest.
Both teams come in off back-to-back losses, but Forest also just lost a heartbreaker to Swansea in the Carabao Cup. With Ange now in charge of Forest, there are so many questions surrounding this match. I just want to sit back and watch it play out.
And then our third matchup of Saturday has the Tottenham Hotspurs going on the road to take on Brighton.
Brighton haven't had the best of starts to the new campaign, while Spurs' lone blemish on their schedule was a 1-0 loss to Bournemouth. This is a tricky away game for Spurs, particularly coming off their first Champions League game on Tuesday. I'm interested to see this one play out for both sides, really, but I think Spurs have the edge, obviously.
And then of course you do. Yeah. The next matchup we have is West Ham welcoming Crystal Palace.
Palace are only one of 3 teams in the Prem that are unbeaten yet, and still they haven't been great. I have to say it. We know they're always tough to beat. West Ham were dominated by Spurs at home last weekend, and they just seem lost at the moment. I think Palace can continue that unbeaten streak here and make a statement of a win against West Ham.
And then our next matchup has the battle of the better yellow shield, and that's the Wolverhampton Wolves taking on Leeds.
It's 4 games and 4 losses for Wolves as they are rooted to the bottom of the table. And while Leeds do have an opening day win under their belt, they haven't looked great since. Both sides should be coming into this one expecting to leave with 3 points, and usually that makes good matches.
And then next we have a classic matchup as Manchester United welcome Chelsea.
This one's lined up to be another loss for United, as Chelsea have been great in the Prem and are still unbeaten. Even if this one's at Old Trafford, and it is, United will still come in as underdogs, and rightfully so, after they've been really bad under Amorim. I think Chelsea can win and win big, and if that happens, 2 losses in a row for Amorim that might be heavy defeats is not a good look.
And then closing out our Saturday is a mid-table matchup as Brentford go on the road to take on Fulham.
Fulham got their first win last time out, but have otherwise looked pretty pedestrian so far, and they get Brentford at Craven Cottage. Brentford were pegged to be a relegation scrap this season, and they still might end up there, but for right now, they're sitting mid-table, and they're looking pretty.
And then we open up our Sunday with 2 teams, both surprising teams this season for very different reasons, as Sunderland welcome Aston Villa.
I know we shouldn't read too much into the table right now, and this is what Vic was talking about. But Sunderland sits 7th in the table, while Villa are currently 19th. It probably won't end this way, more than likely will not end this way. But if Sunderland could fight out a draw here, it'll go a long way in their relegation scrap this season.
And our second matchup of Sunday have Bournemouth taking on Newcastle.
The Cherries come into this match looking like one of the best teams in the Prem, but they have to fight off Newcastle now. Newcastle haven't been good by any means so far, but the new signings are starting to gel, and we could be in for a sneaky good match here. Newcastle, they even look good against Barca, so, maybe they can put it to Bournemouth. I don't know. Bournemouth have been scary.
And then we close out our match day with a banger as Arsenal take on Manchester City.
Yeah, there's no need to be sneaky good about this matchup. I think they call it a peach of a game is what we should be getting from this one. These are two of the three teams we expect to be fighting it out for the title at the end of the season. City have lost 2 matches already, and they cannot afford to lose too many more. Arsenal have been excellent this season, and City are starting to come to life. This one's going to be another banger. I am looking forward to it, Vic.
Yeah, it's going to be a good way to end the match day. And I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to that match too. I want to see what happens. But yeah, those are your match day 5 matchups that we have. And these are your No Business Soccer podcast top matches and headlines for the Premier League match day 5. And of course, it starts off with the match day opener. It's Merseyside derby time.
Everton are the obvious underdogs here after Liverpool won the league and then spent nearly £500 million in the summer. But Everton's saving grace is that Liverpool have had to rely on late goals in every match they played. So maybe there's a chance. Maybe small.
Number 2 is Manchester City versus Arsenal.
Of course, this one was going to make our top matches to watch from the Prem. Are you kidding me? It's 2 of the top teams in the Prem that we expect to be fighting for the title, as you said earlier. But both sides are loaded with talent, loaded with stars. It's almost guaranteed to be a banger.
And our third match is Manchester United versus Chelsea.
This isn't a top match because I think it'll be a good match to watch. Let's just say that first. I'm calling it out because of the drama that could unfold if the things go the wrong way. I don't know how many more heavy defeats Amorim has left in him still be in good graces with the higher ups, with the execs at United. But I think that Chelsea will end up giving him another heavy defeat, and we'll see how it goes from there.
And number 4 to wrap it up is Bournemouth versus Newcastle.
Well, this will be a changing of the guard, or will it be, is my question. Or will Newcastle reclaim their spot at the top echelons of the Premier League table? The Cherries have been very, very good to start the season, and Newcastle, let's just say it, have not. It feels like Bournemouth are ready to take that next leap, but not if Newcastle has something to say about it. It feels like 2 teams vying for the same position. Let's go Cherries. Let's go Toon. Let's see what happens.
Yes, and those are your top matches and headlines for the Premier League Match Day 5 that the No Business Soccer podcast fam is looking forward to. And I gotta say, at Bournemouth, Newcastle's still sitting in number 10, and they only have 1 win this year. I think they're pretty good in a good spot anyway. And just getting a couple more wins can help them, I guess, climb the ranks. But we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be pretty interesting for that one.
Yeah, the only game that I remember watching them play that I was like, oh yeah, they're going to be good is the game against Liverpool. But then they end up losing it and then not really pushing on after. I mean, I think they won the next game, but nothing has felt like they have been in the past. But watching them in the Champions League, it almost feels like now that the drama is over with Isak, they're like ready to push on. Like it was such a weight on everybody's shoulders that now they're starting to just play fluid. They're starting to play like themselves. Excuse me. And that's really cool. I'm excited to see it because whenever Newcastle are good, they're fun to watch. And yeah, I gotta love the colors. I think you and I have both said it. They're kind of like our second team, Like we like watching Newcastle. And especially with all the drama gone now. I mean, it's over there in Liverpool, so whatever. But yeah, looking forward to that match. And of course, I mean, we can't talk enough about Arsenal City. That one's going to be good. I just, the Spurs Brighton game is so interesting to me because Brighton have given Spurs problems for a few seasons now. And Thomas Frank, he's a tactician. He's going to set us up to win that match, but he's never had to play in international games where it's twice a week. He's usually had a whole week to talk about a whole week to plan out his game plan. I don't know what I'm trying to game plan. Plan out his game plan. You know what I'm saying? He has a whole week to do that. But yeah, I appreciate that hype, man. But now that he has less time, right? Because they just played Villarreal 2 days ago. So now you have even less days to plan. How is he going to get that strategy to his team, set them up to go into Brighton, especially on the road? It's just a lot of questions that I'm interested to see how it plays out, because this isn't going to be a one-time thing, right? Spurs are probably going to win the Champions League, so it's going to be for a while that we're going to be playing this match. So.
Yeah, I guess it's hard for our teams to be like, in all these Champions League and other tournaments and stuff. Like, it's nothing like these hard. Like Evertonians have to worry about, right? They just have to worry about the Premier League or something like this.
Could you imagine just having like one match a week?
That'd be crazy. I don't even know the next time we have that. That's crazy.
Nah. Probably for Liverpool, never. Honestly, probably. Y'all good. Y'all good.
I'm only talking shit because Danny P left already, right? Yeah, he left already. So we're good.
He's not here. Yeah. That boy, he's eating a sandwich right now.
Yeah.
And this is the problem.
Sorry, good.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, to pull the curtain back a little bit, Danny P is only hungry when we're about to podcast. Like, that's the only time he's ever hungry. Only time he ever eats. And we'll be talking to him. He was like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Of course you're eating. Of course you're eating."
Yeah, he's trying to do a mukbang.
Yeah.
Hey, did you do that in Japan? Is that a thing you can do? I don't know.
I didn't record myself, but I ate very heavily a lot.
I just imagine in Japan there's like a mukbang cafe or something. I don't know. It's just what I think it is.
I bet there is. If
you
guys know it, out in the let us know down in the comments if you guys know, and I'll make another trip if I have to. We'll make another trip out of it.
Oh, it's Korean. We got from our I know. Oh,
my ears.
It's Korean. Okay, not Japanese. Oh, well, okay. Well, I was just gonna say about food. We because we're recording, at 8 p.m. our time. I like eat dinner before we go for a family walk and do all these things. I'm freaking hungry again. That's the issue, man. I eat too early. I'm like, golly, Danny P, what's he eating? I need to go over there. But hey, before we get out of here, though, we have one more thing to talk about, and that's all the Champions League matches that we were able to watch. Just kind of break them down a bit. We're not going to take too much time with this, but so let's jump into it. Let's go right to the Champions League. And if you recall that this week they're only it's only Champions League. There's no Conference League or Europa League. They come in later. So Vic, before we jump into the matches, was there one that sticks out in your mind for the Champions League round that you're like, damn, that was really good match? Obviously
Liverpool, right? Not even just being biased, but just the story of how they always get a late winner somehow. And I will say, before that header that our captain got, I was like, we need our captain right now for this corner kick. And Szoboszlai took the corner. Virgil van Dijk hit the header, won the game for us. And I'm not just being biased, but like that's got to be a big story. We always get these late winners. It's incredible. And that's something I was obviously watching. But it was good.
It was awesome. And the fact that the only guy who scores for Atletico Madrid against Liverpool is Marcos Llorente. His dog is named Anfield. Did you hear that?
I'm tired of
named
that
his
yes.
He
Of course
named his dog Anfield. So they said that like 57% of his goals that he scored for Atleti is against Liverpool. That's just insane. He did it again. He scored twice and came back. I was like, I texted our group like, F that guy, right? Get him out of here. We don't need that guy. Some other matches. I got to watch a lot this match day, which was nice because it wasn't all the matches going on at once. We had them kind of broken down. It was really nice to see. But it was the one that surprised me the most was let me look. Which one was it? Nope, it's not coming to me. What was I going to talk about? Yes, Bayern and Chelsea. That was the one, because Bayern dominated that match from start to finish. They end up winning 3-1. Cole Palmer had a goal called off, but this Bayern side, we talked about it in all of our breakdowns from the Bundesliga. They just look like bullies this season. They look like a team that is going to be very, very hard to beat. And I already expect them to win Bundesliga. They're past the level of teams they're going to play in the Bundesliga. And now it's all about the Champions League in my mind. And Harry Kane is just on another level right now. Him, Olise, Luis Diaz, they're doing great things. And they don't even have Jamal Musiala yet. They're going to be amazing. And so to see them come out and dominate Chelsea, who have been dominant in the Prem and they won the freaking Club World Cup. It was just really cool to see.
Yeah, our I'm going to say old stomping grounds as well. Slavia Praha getting a 2-2 draw against Bodo Glimt. I would say any kind of points are good, especially for our boys over there in Prague. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I watched that one too, though. If they should have won, Bodo Glimt, I mean, should have won is kind of like disrespectful to Bodo Glimt, but they had that in the bag, and then Bodo Glimt got an amazing second goal that came out of nowhere, and they end up drawing, and it was kind of like, that's sad. But yeah, it was insane. The atmosphere was crazy there, and I was like, yeah, I know, like that. I've felt that before, and that is, FOMO is the best word I can put. FOMO.
Yeah, it was awesome watching that and be like, huh. We were there. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Awesome. Also, Dortmund and Juve was an amazing match. Juve had a 4-2 lead going into stoppage time, and Dortmund ended up scoring 2 goals in stoppage time to salvage that. Or maybe, reverse that. It was Dortmund that had a 4-2 lead over Juve, and Juve ends up getting 2 stoppage time goals at home to make the crowd go crazy and get the draw. I mean, it felt like it was over, and that we were going to talk a lot about Juve letting in too many goals. Now that they drew, it's like, okay, well, they're letting in a lot of goals, but they're scoring so many. It's just a completely different looking Juve than we're used to seeing. Of course, my boys Spurs getting the win over Villarreal. PSG 4-0 blanking Atalanta. Man, they didn't stand a chance. And that one was over in the first half. I think it was 3-0 in the first half. It was just, not a good look for them. What else?
The disappointing one that we talked about earlier, that was today, actually. If you're watching this now, it was yesterday. Man City and Napoli. The Napoli red card, which I'm not a Man City fan. That was a red card. That was definitely a red card.
He didn't get the ball. He first I was like, because you see the ball rolling the same direction, and I was like, oh, obviously he got the ball. Like, what are you talking about? And then they show it from the other angle, and zero ball. That was crazy.
Like you said, because we were texting, robbed us of a pretty good match that we could have seen.
And KDB was subbed with it.
Yeah,
and then they took Kevin De Bruyne. That sucked, man. That really brought me down. And it sucks now because this isn't the old format where, like, okay, well, this was the home leg for City. They still have to go to. They're not playing again. It's done. No. So that wasn't fun. The one that surprised me a lot was seeing Eintracht Frankfurt win 5-1. The only problem is, like, Galatasaray, they're not one of those upper echelon teams. Like, Galatasaray is typically a team that's either in the Conference League or the Europa League. This is a year they're in the Champions League, but man, Eintracht Frankfurt made them look dumb. And Burkhardt for Eintracht Frankfurt, who they brought in from Mainz, he hadn't really got going yet. He ends up getting a couple goals. I think only one counted because they called one like an own goal. But either way, they look good, and their kids looked awesome. They're Champions League kids.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And I will say
the pinstripe is cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. I kept forgetting because I was watching Golazo where they show all the matches. I keep forgetting that was them. But Galatasaray had a great opening, like 15-ish minutes, because they scored in the 8th, I think.
They scored first,
they were riding high for a little bit there.
There. And we can't sign off before talking about Marcus Rashford for Barcelona. He gets the brace. His second goal was ridiculous. And then he just goes in and gets subbed, and he's just like, yeah, that's what I do. Like, it just feels like he's going to another level. He hasn't done much for Barca. Let's not get it twisted. It's not like he's been doing this in La Liga. It was this was his first start. I don't want to say his first start, but his first chance at like a main game like this, and he proved that he needs more minutes. I don't know what else to say. He looks good.
Yeah, Champions League. Rashford is like a Real Betis Anthony. He's goated out there. He's just
showed up. Oh man, that second goal was a banger though. It was so awesome.
That was pretty nice.
Leverkusen Copenhagen was awesome. We could talk about all these games, but we're not going to because there's a whole lot more going on. And we'll structure this somehow. We'll make it a little bit more fun. But either way, there's a lot of games coming up. I think that for sure this next Thursday is the Europa League, and I think the next week all of them are back. So we'll see how it comes up. But either way, fun week of football. We had our show on Monday. There was matches Monday, and then there's matches Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and this is coming out Friday, and it starts the new weekend for the game. So we are back to full time on this show and for Europe, for all the leagues around Europe. So
so I think that's sure to like and subscribe. So
there you go.
All of our turn on notifications so you get all of our videos as soon as they drop. And of course, liking just helps us out. So Appreciate it.
All right, well,
And
take us home.
we appreciate you guys for spending some time and talking about some European football. Of course, like I just said, like and subscribe. It's the best way to show YouTube that, hey, maybe we're pretty cool to hang out with, and it helps us out the most. But until next time, y'all enjoy the football this weekend, and we will talk to you very soon.
Peace.